Hello, and welcome to another episode of Adamo Baseball, where I'm your host, Adamo. And in this episode, I'm going to be breaking down the Chicago Cubs. So, they won the division last year, and could they win the division this year again? Certainly. I made it pretty clear yesterday that while I think St. Louis could win it this year, I wouldn't be shocked if they don't, simply because I think that there's a lot of holes in their offense. The Cubs, they don't have a bad offense. It's not the offense that won the World Series in 2016. There are pieces of it that are still there, but it's not the same team. Their rotation, it's not bad per se, but there's nothing that just jumps out and says, "Woo, we gonna win this." Their bullpen is hit and miss. I mean, it really is inconsistent. Now, for the last several years, they've had serious bullpen issues with simply just not being able to win anything because their bullpen was so bad for so long. But I think the Cubs have got a shot at the division, but I think they're going to finish third because while their lineup's not bad, I don't necessarily know that they have enough offense to carry them. That seems to be a problem with a lot of the NL Central. And I don't think that their pitching staff is strong enough either. So let's go ahead and get into this. Starting, of course, as always, with the lineup. Leading off, Ian Happ, center field. So he's not a particularly bad leadoff guy, but he wouldn't be my first choice. Of the guys that they have, maybe. But if I can find someone else, I might try and take them instead. Second in their lineup, Kris Bryant, third base. Okay, so he rose to stardom, I want to say either the year before they won the World Series or the year before that. Since then, he hasn't played bad, but he's also been hurt a lot since then. And there's been a lot of speculation as to whether or not the Cubs should trade him. And if they're not in the thick of the division race in July, they probably do need to go ahead and trade him and just try and get some draft stock or get some new prospects in their AAA system or something. Because there's obviously still a lot of baseball left in Kris Bryant. But we don't know is how much or if he can still be successful in a Cubs uniform. Batting third, Anthony Rizzo, first base. Another one of the guys, Kris Bryant was the main guy that took him to the World Series. Anthony Rizzo was another one of the guys that took him to the World Series. And he has not slowed down. He really is still playing pretty well. So you might want to keep your eye on him. He's probably going to make the All-Star game this year. And don't be shocked if he ends up putting out 30-plus home runs this season. Batting cleanup, Javier Baez, shortstop. You don't normally see shortstops batting cleanup, but of what I've seen and read, he actually is the kind of shortstop you can have do that. So by all means, keep having him do what he does. Batting fifth, this is an interesting case. Joc Pederson, left field. Yeah, that Joc Pederson from last year's LA Dodgers team that won the World Series. He suffered a lot from having to bounce back and forth in the outfield quite a bit because the Dodgers just had too many bats that they had to try to balance. So while, yeah, he played in a lot of games, he did. It didn't really feel like he could get solidified in any one specific position. So that's probably why he was willing to go to Chicago. I don't know if he was traded or if he signed with Chicago, but it was probably a free agency signing. And if that's the case, then I don't blame him. I mean, he's fully capable of batting fifth. He is you can have him be like your big home run hitter for a season. And don't be shocked if he has a breakout season. Batting sixth, Wilson Contreras, catcher. Another one of those pieces that won the World Series, knows how to handle superstar pitching because, come on, they had so many great pitchers in 2016. John Lester, Jake Arrieta, trying to remember who else, Kyle Hendricks. He's balanced a lot of talent as a catcher is concerned, and he hits pretty well too. He doesn't strike out a lot, at least not lately. So yeah, he's also right where he needs to be, batting sixth in the lineup. Batting seventh, Jason Hayward, right field, another one of those guys that took him to the World Series all those 5 years ago. Yes, it really has been 5 years. Yeah, he's pretty good, but he's not great. If the Cubs need to have a trade chip, they may use him if they use any of their stars, because he should be ending or nearing the end of his contract in the not so distant future. Batting eighth, Nick Horner, second base. He doesn't have a lot of experience, actually. He really hasn't played that much in Major League Baseball. I think this is his third year. If it is, then this would be like his first full season, assuming he doesn't get hurt or anything. So we're just going to have to wait and see on him. So, yeah, their lineup, still pretty good. And obviously there's still a lot of potential. I just don't know how much gas is going to be left in the tank with these guys. And don't be surprised if some of them get traded. Because, again, I don't think the Cubs are going to repeat, because Chicago's not going to be able to do a lot with money moving forward, because ye old virus hit them pretty hard. Financially speaking, they are one of the teams that got hit real hard. So especially after the season, they may have a firing sale because they need to clean up the bank a bit. Their rotation, while there's 3 big names on there, it's a case of how much gas is left in the tank. Top of the rotation, Kyle Hendricks. He was one of the guys that got into that World Series in 2016. And he's the one consistent feature in the rotation for the Cubs for quite a while. And there is one other, but he's not solely a Cub in that regard. But yeah, Kyle Hendricks, top of the rotation. Pitching second, Zach Davies. Last year with San Diego, he proved that he actually can be a consistent, good pitcher. Can he do that with Chicago as well? Third in the rotation, Jake Arrieta. He's been in Chicago for a little bit now, but he really made his name in Philadelphia with Roy Halladay. I think he was there with Roy Halladay. He may not have been that far back, but he was also, he's good when he's on, but he's not always on. Pitching fourth, Trevor Williams. He had one good year with Pittsburgh. Other than that, no, he's about what you'd expect from a fourth guy. And pitching fifth, Alex Mills. hasn't really been pitching that long, and this is really his opportunity to prove himself. Because no, there's not a lot of information on him. So the rotation, again, like with the lineup, the rotation is a matter of how much gas is still left in the tank and how much is the Cubs management going to be able to work with it. Ownership, more specifically. Closer, Craig Kimbrel. His is kind of an interesting case. So, made a name for himself in Atlanta as a knockout closer. Red Sox give up a lot to get him. A lot. And he ends up being their one good bullpen guy in 2018, like the one consistently good bullpen player. And one of their issues is that bridge to Kimbrel. That 2018 Red Sox team won 108 games, but at the same time, they had bullpen problems. Kimbrel was the stabilizer. Well, they let him go after that, and he really hasn't been that same player. It took him forever to be able to get a contract with Chicago, or anybody for that matter, because just nobody wanted to pay him. This is his last real shot. This is his chance to show that he is the closer that he was with the Braves and the Red Sox. He has to do it now. As far as the bullpen's concerned, they got the other decent bullpen guy the Red Sox had in 2018, Brandon Workman. So, Workman, he was good on paper, but in practice, he wasn't on the World Series roster. And when he was in the postseason, he did not shine at all. It's probably why Workman's no longer in Boston. And he's now in Chicago, trying to prove himself again. The other two guys, Andrew Chafin and Ryan Tepera, I don't know how to say his last name. Not necessarily great, but hopefully they're good enough. Because again, years past, they haven't had that good a bullpen. This is their chance to show whether or not their bullpen has recovered. We'll just have to wait and see. My overall thoughts for this team is there's a high ceiling, but there's a low floor. And I honestly see them being somewhere more in the middle. I mean, don't count them out of any game, but don't expect that Chicago is going to win any game. They may not. And yeah, I'm going with my initial hunch. I think that they're going to finish third in the division, probably around a 300 or a 500 record. Those are my thoughts on the Chicago Cubs. And if you'd like to let me know your thoughts, you can do so in the comments below. Or if you're listening on my podcast, you can let me know on Instagram. Or if your podcasting platform will let you do so, you can do so there. Or you can do so on Patreon. Because, all right, so Patreon for some reason changed the name. It's just Adam M on there now. So you can support me there if you'd like. With that being said, thank you for listening. Cheers until next time.